which gives me the segue that I need to get to LSU. Okay? LSU has always been really important in Louisiana. But you don't know LSU as being good at football until Nick Saban got there. You can go historically and you can look around and you can see, yeah, they had ups and downs. They had players here and there. But aside from Huey Long coming on the field to call plays, having all these things, he was governor of Louisiana, do a little homework, do a little research. Also a wildly influential figure, not just in Louisiana politics, but in American politics. Huge LSU fan, and also had lots of things to say about who the head coach should be or not be, and that is kept up. That is every governor in the state of Louisiana has a vested interest in LSU football and will put their finger on the scale. They will do that. But I say that to say, when Nick Saban came to LSU to be, I think at the time, the highest paid college football coach in America, Mark Emmert was the head chancellor at LSU, who went on to be head president of NCAA and was president at Washington, University of Washington. And when they brought Nick Saban in, he looked around and didn't see none of us with melanin in the skin, or enough of us with melanin in our skin, and said, hey, where are all the other players at? And they said to him, they don't go here. And he said, BS, they don't go here. And he went recruiting the state of Louisiana, which if you just take a look at it and you look at John Curtis, you look at Edna Kerr, you look at Evangel, like you throw a rock, you hit an outstanding football player in the state of Louisiana, man. I could start with the Mannings. I could go to Marshall Faulk. I could go to Mark Spears. John David Booty. My goodness, dude. Keep going down the list. There's a big, long list of great Louisiana football players. Leonard Fournette ends up going to LSU. But he's the guy that turned LSU into the winner that you know, Nick Saban, by just recruiting the state and saying, this is what we're going to be about. We're going to be about winning. I don't care about the rest. I care about winning. And when you care about winning the way that LSU and LSU did and Ohio State does, you can do some great things. You just got to be willing to risk everything else. My favorite part of this story, college football, when we talk about blue bloods, when we talk about the hitters, when we talk about the teams that everybody thinks is going to win, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, when Dabo Swinney had the thing rolling, it ain't what you want. It's what you're willing to sacrifice to get it. That is the definition of single-minded focus. That's what it means. It means everything else goes by the wayside. Some of my favorite and smartest football people in the world don't know who owns their mortgage. Could not tell you how their amortization schedule works. Don't know where the light bill gets paid or how the electricity turns on. When they start a car, they know that it runs on something called gasoline. You're giving up a lot here. And because you've chosen something that we all hold dear, college football, we let slide that you might not be the best human being. We let slide that you might not be the best father. You might not be the best citizen. You can't tell me who your state representative is or your congressman is. We let all that go because you're good at this other thing, this one thing. But when you're no longer good at that one thing, what else do you have, right? That is the sacrifice. You're going to have to figure it out after you're no longer the 1% of this. That happens at Ohio State. That happens at LSU. That happens at Texas. That happens at Oklahoma. It happens at other programs, which is why you hear about how guys either get taken care of or don't, right? They go into insurance or air conditioning sales. They get all of a sudden very interested in HVACs and car dealerships because your name still carries weight, even if the skills to run those businesses aren't skills you have. You could probably hire somebody is what you think. But it takes a little bit more. It takes a little bit more than that. It takes some investment. It takes saving some money. It means that you need to be financially, fiscally aware and frugal, which is a great way to be as a person. But at LSU football, that's going to be hard, dog. So when I got Jeff Landry out here, who was blaming Scott Woodward for everything but the Old Testament floods and the plague of locusts, I said, yo, you want to pay less than what Brian Kelly was getting paid to coach LSU? How do you expect to get the coach that LSU wants if you're going to pay less than the market? Because the market right now is between 8 and 10 for the caliber of coach that you want at LSU. Why is that the caliber of coach you want? Because Lane Kiffin's at Ole Miss. He's going to get a raise. SMU gave Rhett Lashley a 7-year extension. Matt Rule got a 2-year extension. You've got athletic directors coming out the woodwork to say, I'm not going to LSU on the tweets. That's how big it is. And also, Florida is willing to pay competitively. Penn State is willing to pay competitively. And that's just the bigger programs with the bigger profiles. Who's to say there isn't someone at Virginia Tech that's willing to play an arm and a leg to get one of these coaches? I mean, yes, we've all seen the rumors about James Franklin perhaps being a guy that could be there, but that's what they are right now. They're just rumors. Meanwhile, I think, Brian Kelly would fit right in Oklahoma State. I don't mind saying it. There's going to be probably close to 40 jobs that open up this year because everybody was first getting used to the revenue sharing and, front loading the NIL payments, trying to figure out what the budget was going to be. But now you got to make the college football playoff, and you got to make the college football playoff at a time when Indiana and Vanderbilt are messing up what is traditionally a spot for Florida, for LSU, for Michigan, for Iowa, right? Minnesota is actually more of a blue blood than you might expect, right? Michigan State, more of a blue blood than you might expect. USC still not made a college football playoff, but Lincoln Riley's buyout is reportedly close to $90 million. They're just kind of stuck with each other for the time being. And all the while, everybody wants to know who's the next head coach is going to get fired. And y'all want to get in the comments asking me about when it is that Brent Venables is going to get gone. I'm going, the problem that you run into is two things. One, I like Brent Venables. Two, who are you going to get this better? Like, this is why I was mad about James Franklin getting fired. Yeah, his record sucks against top 10 teams. Absolute garbage. But who are you going to get this better? I mean, honestly, like I'm asking that question. You fight. Billy Napier was hired after they fired a guy who was basically putting up the similar numbers and then better numbers than Billy Napier. And now he's at UNLV. So Dan Mullen would be like, yo, what I got to do over here? Not be Urban Meyer? Yeah, nobody's Urban Meyer. He went 83-9 at Ohio State. This guy won the best winning percentages, I think the best winning percentage of all time. The man did not have a season at Ohio State where he won fewer than 10 games. And even that, we're talking about the headaches on the sideline. It takes a lot. And then think about just how many billionaires live in Highland Park that are ready to give SMU everything they got if it means they're going to be good. Oh yeah, remember A&M? They got a lot of money too. I don't understand why you would not stay the course and try to build this thing the way that Ohio State has. They've had something like 7 head coaches since 1960. Let's see, Woody Hayes, Earl Bruce, John Cooper, Jim Tressel, Luke Fickell, Urban Meyer, Ryan Day. We're counting Luke Fickell, but he had the 1 year, and it was basically on a hold the water sort of basis, right? You're not going to keep this job full time. So that even if you do that, come on now. Keep James Franklin or don't, but who are you going to get this better? And now Pat Kraft got to go get somebody that's better. And that's what he said. And now the guy that everybody thought was going to go get, Matt Rule, just re-up for 2 years and got a sweetheart deal, right? He gets, I think, an annual raise of $1 million every year they make the college football playoff. Granted, they ain't done that yet, but they're on track to. Are you going to go get Kirk Ferentz? Is that what you want? That's why Iowa ain't ready to move on him. You don't see them getting mad about it. But I get it. You get people that are upset about it. You've got donors that say, I got this money to burn, and I don't have 100 years to watch Indiana get good again. Okay, cool. That's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to be about. I don't see it. You pivot from Lloyd Carter, Rich Rod. That's why you got into a mess, Michigan. You went away from who you are. You went away from what you do. And it took going through Rich Rod and Brady Hoke to get you to Jim Harbaugh, who came out of his good graces to help you. He'd already done this at San Diego. He'd already done this at Stanford. Hell of a coach for the Niners, trying to get it done for Chargers. He wanted to win at Michigan. That's what he came there to do. And as soon as he got that national championship, peaced out. And you know what? They got it the way they did it. They took no prisoners. Like, I am on them about cheating because they got caught. But also, they did whatever it takes. They were single-minded in what they wanted to do and how they wanted to do it. And it took him 8 friggin' years. Why do you think you get to cut corners? Because you got a lot of money? No. It's college football. There's at least 40 programs with a lot of money. And now you've got more openings than you have qualified candidates for the job. You know what that's called? It's called a seller's market. That's what we got. That's what we got. Congratulations. We all did this. If you got your head coach and you're looking at going bowling, hold on to that man. If you got your head coach and he's gone 3-9, really ask yourself, what are you going to get this better? And are you willing to overpay by some margin to get better? Because this is what I don't think Governor Landry understands. We will outbid you. We will outbid you. Money is not the end all be all, but it's one hell of a tiebreaker. All right, that's going to do it for this live episode of Adapt and Respond. If you like the show, tell me about it in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see y'all on the flip side. Doses.